Hey, I'm Greg with California Ski Company in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Wings, also from Berkeley, California.
Hey, we're both wearing our Sugar Bowl hats. Nice.
Yeah.
This video brought to you by Sugar Bowl. Hey, I was thinking, you were the shop manager.
Yep.
And 3 times today I had people that came in and asked about whether they should wax their skis or not. And I looked at them and the bases were like totally like gray. Hadn't been waxed in like 3 years. And were furry like a shag carpet from the 70s. So, when you sell a ski, what do you tell people? Like, how often should they wax?
Well, I generally tell people that skis come from the factory generally with sort of like a storage and like travel wax. That's what keeps it shiny in between a variety of temperatures and conditions. And of course, they ask me, when do they need to wax the first time? And generally, I tell them to go ski it for like a day or two, sort of get some of that off.
Yeah.
And then really it's probably time for your first real wax. And from there I usually say 3 to 5 ski days.
It's so hard you almost have to teach them what it would look like, because I find like in the spring with man-made snow, I can strip the wax off in a day easy.
Yeah.
And if I'm skiing in Utah, cold conditions, the whole wax doesn't change for days and days. So, it's hard to tell them what to do.
Yeah, springtime's a little different. Definitely almost at least apply sort of like an express wax every day.
What do you mean express wax?
So this is kind of like a liquid, I don't know, almost like a Teflon.
Yeah.
Just something that keeps the base slick, keeps it moisturized, and really just keeps it lasts about a day.
Yeah.
So just something to keep it fresh.
When I guess one of the things that I tell people is that, wax is kind of like if your lawn's aerated or if there's carrots, it gets pulled out little by little, right? You have these veins running into the ski and they're filled with wax. And as the wax gets scoured off, it creates, cut divots where the wax is because it's soft. And then the low pressure kind of pulls them out little by little. So I guess if you put something like that on every time you ski, it would keep it from getting into the good hot wax job that you had and keep the base kind of moisturized, I guess.
Yeah. And of course nowadays.
What's this stuff? Is this liquid? No. This is a rub-on?
That's a rub-on or a melt-on.
And this is our new hot stuff. Yeah.
I'm actually really liking the, more of the natural wax. I mean, I know for years we've had some pretty not environmentally great stuff.
Yeah.
And now with what Wen's doing, I mean, even Toko's doing now like a natural wax.
I think everyone is because the race, FIS, the Race International group, they're making the wax makers not use some of the fluorocarbons and stuff that they have been using, so they're all searching. And these guys are, meadow foam? I don't know where it comes from. Oregon sounds like.
Yeah.
I grow a little weed and a little meadow foam on the side.
Yeah.
But, at the last demo I went to, you were there, when our model rep had, he does wind, and man, his skis were the fastest by far.
They were definitely slick.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. I tested some of the wind like when they first came out, and the first few times I wasn't quite as impressed, but their new formula just seems to be better almost than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So
one of the issues I think too is that unless you wax your own skis, you got to go to the ski shop every 3 to 5 times you wax. So for years I've been telling people that waxing is fun. It's good for your hands. It moisturizes. It's clean. Do it yourself, and we really encourage people to do it. But it's just not going to happen. People are busy and they want to get it done, but they can't just go to the ski shop on a regular basis. They end up going to the resorts and getting a roller wax, which is not the same as the kind of wax that a good ski shop will do with either an iron or like we use that infrared machine.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend if you haven't checked it out or heard of it, is DPS Phantom Wax.
Oh yeah. Right.
I
So
think
it's not really wax, is it?
no, it's not wax. That's right. It's their glide system, their permanent glide system. DPS does a great job. It is a little pricey, from the get-go, but it definitely pays for itself over the life of ski. I mean, even before that.
What's the deal?
So it's basically a two-part application, sort of, I don't want to say epoxy, but sort of like a two-part application, and then it's cured with UV light. It soaks into the base, and then from there it hardens up. And then it lasts it lasts forever, but
yeah, as long as the ski does.
yeah. And then every time you tune it, or they say roughly every 30 ski days you should have it tuned, and that sort of refreshes it as soon as it gets a little stone on it.
Yeah, it's weird. I was worried. I have one of my pairs of skis, some Westford 10s, the white ones that we got, the pre-release ones, and they I did that. As a matter of fact, you might have done it for me. Like when we were first trying the DPS stuff, when the guys came out from the University of Utah that had developed it, and the first time I tuned it, I was worried that it wouldn't work as good, but it works way better. I mean, it was faster than ever. I think tuning it makes it faster somehow. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's absolutely great for everyday skis. It really was developed with the touring community in mind, because wax tends to gum up skins a little bit.
Yeah, right.
So I just said, hey, like, you could definitely use it every day. You can still wax like right on top of it, which is great.
So like spring sticky conditions or
right. I mean, I will say I have had some complaints in the most extreme of conditions, like in the hottest days or the coldest days. It didn't feel like, a nice, fresh, hot wax.
But you know what? That's true of universal wax too.
Yeah.
If it's really, really hot or really cold, people come back and they're like, my skis are sticking. They just need to carry some additional wax.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in California, so universal's 97% of the days, but every now and then it does get cold enough. And certainly in the spring, it's a problem.
Yeah. It's great stuff. I mean, I totally recommend it. And again, you can wax right on top of it. So when you have your skis tuned, typically they'll wax after your tune, and you can let them know you have Phantom. You don't need it, but a little more doesn't hurt.
Yeah, the other thing, people think that they shouldn't wax. They don't want to wax their skis because they don't want to go too fast. But you have to keep in mind that waxing is a smart thing to do. It goes through different kinds of snow more evenly. It does make the skis a little faster, but it makes them more even through the different snows, and it's safer. It's less grabby, and all those little micro grabs that you don't really feel make it so you can't ski as well. So you'll ski better when your skis are waxed, and people just don't have time. I think the Phantom's probably a pretty good solution for the average skier.
I think so too, and really, I tell a lot of people, it's not just about going faster. It's about keeping your bases moisturized. I mean, when you really get down to the microscience of it, you're sort of drying out and like cracking your base.
Yeah, and they get furry. I have people feel it. Like, I got bad news for you. Your base, your skis are in great shape, but you skied the wax out and stored them over the summer, and now the only way we can fix them is we're going to have to tune them and cut off some of the P-tags, and we hate to do it. The ski's already flat. It's got a good pattern, but they get furry, and then you can't really get a good wax in them, and they don't glide well.
And really, that's for any ski. Whether you have a $500 package ski or a $1,300 Stokely, I mean, just keep those bases like fresh and moisturized.
Yeah. Easy for us to say. No, we can just bring our skis to work and wax them anytime.
Right.
Actually, I'd give them to somebody in the back and say, hey, Mark, wax my skis. Anyway, wax your skis.
Wax your skis.